Reflecting on everything that we have done this week with the Google Sites, as well as kind of getting an idea of what educational technology is, I feel like creating this professional online presence is vital to who we are as professionals coming out of this educational world where we're college students. I believe that understanding who we want to be as a professional and reflecting on what we want in the future as we are teachers is very important and allows us to find ourselves and our identity as a professional and teacher. Connecting to communicating, I think that these tools are very, very important, and I believe that creating portfolios as a teacher is very vital. I believe that sending a portfolio, an online portfolio out at the beginning of a year before you even meet with any of your students can really help build relationships with those students before they even step foot in that classroom. They can see who you are as a person, as well as see what you expect and what you believe in as a teacher, ultimately making them more comfortable in the classroom. I do believe that this week has changed how I believe my teaching philosophy is. I understand now how important educational technology is, not just as a way of engaging students more in what we are doing, but as a form of communication for those students who don't use verbal communication to communicate. This is another option of communication, and this is vital for me as a special education teacher because I will have students who do not communicate verbally. And this is just an easier way for me to understand and best support them. Overall, I do believe that creating this site on Google Sites was very helpful. I believe that Google Sites is very user-friendly, and it's not too challenging to create a website or a portfolio on yourself. And I believe it was very beneficial working through this now rather than in the future. I think the most challenging part and process for me was probably going to be the adding like a web page. I struggled with that for a second, but I was able to fix the problem. Originally, I had to add a sub page under my page to edit the page, like my About Me page. So I ultimately just deleted everything and restarted, and that was what fixed my issue. And I was able to ultimately work through it and create a website that looks and functions correctly. I believe that powerful feature of this website is just how many interactive tools there are on it. You can do almost anything you put your mind to when it comes to building your own website. If you want to add pictures or videos, there are so many different options, and I love that there are so many different options and different visuals you can use to help create an effective website. And then I can definitely see myself using this in the classroom. I would love to create a portfolio about me every single year so I can send it to my students and my parents before they come into my classroom for the very first time. I also think it would be a great idea for us to create one for those students so I can get to know them as a person and not just a student in a classroom. And then I would say that my most important takeaway as a whole from this week is how important technology is in understanding how to use technology in an educational standpoint. I believe that technology is so important, but it has to be used in a correct way. And I'm loving learning how to use this technology effectively and in an educational way. So thank you for an amazing week. I'm excited for the next one.